Okay, folks, hope you're doing good. Um, it was so windy and cold that all of my footage was just obnoxious with the noise. Um, but we had a handful of bull calves that needed to be roped and cut, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to show you guys some of the things I think about and some of the ways I try to set up certain shots. I didn't only include my catches in here. I included some misses too to show you why I missed. So you guys can see the cursor there. My little girl was with me, bundled her up, put her bunch of blankets in there. She was a trooper. She's pretty cool. So I got a spade, a 60-foot spade, ranch rope there. You guys can get those on RubuckNevada.com. Of course, you know that. So let's go down here. And most of these calves are not quite yearlings yet, but they're closing in on it. All right. So first shot here. Reached out there a little bit and grabbed him. I'll let each shot kind of play out and then I'll stop it and back it up for you guys and we'll go over it in slow motion. Getting short here. Okay, perfect. Short enough for the trap we're working in. Healers are lined up over there. We got room to work. Let's go to the fire. He's coming in, stops his horse, sets a big old nice heel trap, follows me in, takes these turns, calf's down. Perfect. Okay, we'll back that up here. You guys are going to see my editing software, but it'll save some time on a lot of this. So I'll play this through in slow motion. Kind of frame by frame here. So one thing to think about when I throw these long Houlihan shots is the distance between me and the calf that I'm looking to rope. A lot of times when I'm throwing these long Houlihan shots, I may or may not have a specific calf in mind. This is right at the beginning of this little bunch of calves that we did. So I was kind of just waiting for something to give me a shot. But I did know that it was about 4 coils worth of distance. See, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 coils in my hand here. So as we progress here, this calf is poking out away from the rest of the bunch. He's going to kind of fill in the space between the two, which will allow the rope, once it gets over his head, to go into an empty spot rather than taking a chance of roping a second calf or another calf walking through it or something. Kind of got some space behind him, so we're going to throw it. Okay, where the Honda is sitting, right on the top of his back there as the loop's hitting him, it's a little bit further back than I like. I like it to hit kind of where their neck meets the front of their shoulders there. What'll happen, you see that much rope on the far side of him there? He jumps and right here steps through it with the front leg. I probably could have avoided that by being a little quicker pulling my slack, but it's a catch and a front leg. So I did take my dallies right there. These bigger calves, I don't mind dallying on a long rope. Let them bounce around, get a little bit of the steam out, let them figure out how they're going to need to move to stay on their feet with that rope on them. Get short, not super short, but short enough. Buddy's going to come in here. I'm going to look up this way and make sure I don't have any traffic. So his horse is pretty basically stopped as he's delivering that heel loop. Big, nice heel loop. This horse is finishing stopping right now as he goes to pull his slack. Textbook. Well done there. Now, if you notice, he's going to kind of keep his hand up in the air, let some rope run through it and hold on to it. Then he's going to the horn right there. He's roping with a extra soft tracer. You can get that rope on Roebuck, Nevada also. Ground crew's coming in. All right, let's get us another one. All right, I'm shaking some distance coils out here. I got 4 coils again. I'm fairly confident with 4 coils. I want to start getting more confident further back away from the herd, because if you can throw your rope far enough back to where you're not anywhere near those calves' flight zone, you're going to get a lot better percentage of shots there. So I'm winding up. Couple calves leaving on the left side, big old red calf on the right side. Boom. Missed him. All right, let's stop and look as to why. Oops. Press the wrong button, guys. Sorry about that. Where are we at here? He's going to heel him again. All right, we'll watch this shot again here. So like I said, I don't always have a specific calf in mind. Sometimes I just take shots of opportunity. That's what this one was, the way everything was kind of walking around. All right. So what happened in this shot? I see that this red calf here, he's looking towards this other bunch of calves that's moving out. So he's going to start moving out. Throw my rope. You see how the coils of this rope, there's only one little coil left and the rest of them are all straightened out. It pulled, you can see right there how this body of this rope comes up and has a hard bend right there and is pulling this loop closed already and caused it to fall just behind the pole of that calf's head. That loop probably would have worked if I'd have had 5 coils in my hand instead of 4. That's just a mistake of misjudging the distance. A smarter option may have been to take a shot at this calf at the same time. Let's see if it would present itself. So as he's walking up, there's no shot, because his ear is hitting that other calf's butt. No shot. Would have been maybe one more swing. Probably could have thrown right here. He wouldn't have spooked at the rope. He'd have kept walking forward. So I probably could have caught this calf pretty consistently with the 4 coils that I had, instead of trying to catch the calf further back. All right. Macio's going to go in here. Takes a nice shot out of the corner. Let's watch him set that up again. So he's just going to swing an overhand loop here. Not a big loop, just a businessman's loop. Going to go in the herd, get one rope. Takes the easiest calf. His horse is pointed in between that red calf and the black calf that he caught right now. So as he gets that black calf separated in the corner, he knows that calf's going to want to run to the herd. So he'll want to start moving his horse to face us, which will allow him to throw that head loop and not have to throw it over on his left side like a tip over would. Here's just calf's facing the wrong way. He's watching it, waiting, setting his shot up. He sees that calf right there start to look. You can see his body start to move right there. He's putting the power into that loop right now. Throws that loop, makes a nice catch, clean catch. Figure eights on the far side of it, just like you want it to. Immediately pulling his slack and bringing his horse over to face us so he can get his dallies caught. Nice loop. Okay, I'm coming in to heel that calf. Made it work, both feet. Ended up awfully long on my rope. Did you guys catch that? Let's see what happened there. We'll go all the way back. Bailing into this calf. I like to come in ahead of these calves just a little bit on the heeling end here. Asking Luke to get his hip over. Gets me in a good spot. Right there's a good spot. Start asking Luke to stop right now. Throw my rope. Heel trap breaks around these back legs. Luke has stopped. Pull my slack up. Okay. That loop is drawn tight around the calf's back legs. Now that is going to start pulling my hand down. That's my cue to go to the saddle horn with it. You guys see what's happening right here though? This is the strand that's going to my hand in the saddle horn, and it's underneath this other coil. This was bad management of my coils. They were getting dirty. The next frame here, you can see how tight it's drawn around that other coil. Now I got coil coming off, and still that's running down to my hand. So that coil is coming straight down to my hand and not just being smooth rope running through my hand. That'll tear your fingers off. So I felt that happen right here. You can see I let go of it. Kind of let everything straighten out. Nemasio's doing me a huge favor right here. He's still traveling. If he were to stop, my loop would fall off that calf's back feet. Right here, I got to reach up, grab my rope again. You can see my hand right here. Grab it again. It comes tight. Go to the saddle horn fast. I only got the tail of my rope in my hand. Get a couple wraps around my horn as quick as I can. Got her done with just the tail of my rope. Trying to neck this calf. Okay. Gonna switch to a scoop loop. Didn't work. Let's back it up and see why. So the beginning of this shot, this calf is coming down the fence here at a trot following these other calves. You can see I've got a pretty steep angle on my swing. My tip is down to the left side of the screen. Okay, if I were to throw a regular head loop and hit that fence on the back side, it's probably just going to bounce off. So I'm setting up that deep angle to where I can throw it and have as little of my loop as possible go past his head. Right here, though, I get a little bit too far ahead of him, so he stops. Now this swing right here, so I'm still swinging overhand. He stops. Right here, you can see I break the swing and switch to a sidearm swing. Okay. Setting up the scoop. But why didn't this scoop work? See how it goes high? If I would have thrown that scoop right here, he would have been within range. Real easy, real nice. I was a little bit out of time for whatever reason, so I took an extra swing and had to add a lot of power to that loop to get it to go that extra distance, and that's what flipped it up high and missed that calf. Rebuild will go get us another one. Clean loop around the brockle face. Okay, the loop here is nothing exciting. That's a very standard, just overhand, regular head loop. Throw it. Honda placement is a little bit far back, but not bad. Again, I like when the Honda hit that calf. You can see it's right here. I would like it to be right about here. Not too big of a deal there. Real standard shot, nothing crazy happened. Pull your slack, go to your saddle horn, shorten up. What I did want to point out in this, though, let's watch it set up again. Okay. I ended up roping the brockle face calf, but look at the opportunity I had to rope this light red calf here. Could have roped him way earlier. Could have roped him right there. Decided to rope the brockle face. When you got a pen full of calves, whether it's a branding or a bull roping like this or something, whatever it is, don't get fixated on just one calf in the herd. Always try and notice as much as possible. If you get fixated on one calf, you're going to chase it through the bunch trying to rope it, where you might have had 10 or 12 opportunities to rope other calves and stir the cattle up less. Going to run to him, get kind of short. All right, there's Christian. Big old nice, beautiful heel loop right there. Perfect. Let's slow that one down just once. Did everything really good there. Come in ahead of that calf so it makes sure and keeps dragging. Swing right here. Sets a real nice trap. Ready to pull his slack way early, which is excellent. Stops his horse. Sees both feet in the trap. Pulls his slack. Got him all day, every day right there. His header's kind of running out of room in the against the fence up here. If his header... What's your problem there, computer? If the header there could have kept pulling faster, you wouldn't have had this much slack in between the calf and his hand there. But sometimes you get in the corner of the arena, no big deal. Keeps his hand up until it starts coming tight. Catches his dallies, beautiful. Let's go rope one. This calf's trotting down the fence, making it easy. Caught him with the scoop loop. Again, this scoop loop worked this time, and I was wound up spinning a little faster, so I didn't have to add as much power to my loop as I did on the one that missed. I probably could have thrown one swing earlier here also, but I was ready for that power. This is a great frame of this video to show why I prefer the scoop loop right here. See how much of that rope is blown through on the other side of the fence right there? If that's an overhand loop and it blows through up here, that calf is probably going to run under that loop. Where the bottom of it blowing through the fence right there, hits the fence, blows through. My top strand lays across his neck. It's figure eighted between him and the other side of the figure eight is on the other side of the fence. There's no way he can run a leg through that. You obviously are not trying to create the figure eight through the fence and all that, but it's a lot higher percentage with a scoop loop against the fence in that instance, and it is just a regular overhand loop. Okay, gonna get short, let him run into the bunch, get that dog out of the corral. Nice and short, dally off. Macio's coming in to heel again. Boom, nice open trap. Just textbook again to Macio. I'm not even going to slow that one down. It was so good. Was nothing really to explain on it. Everything worked like it should. All right, shaking out some distance coils here again. Missed him. What happened? Okay. Yeah, I got, looks like I picked 4 coils again. That rope is right at that calf's head. We still got the majority of a coil in that rope to come out as it's hitting that calf's head. The only reason that didn't work is I didn't throw the rope in the right spot. More time on the practice dummy. If I'd have thrown that rope 8 inches further, it would have worked. Gosh, Nemesio with another big old beautiful heel trap. Okay. Got him caught. That's an overhand shot against the fence there. It's not my favorite to take, but I kind of have a little bit of leeway on this fence because the rails are on the far side of the post. So those calves have a little bit more space between their heads and the rails there than normal. Deliver the rope. My Honda placement's a little bit low in this shot. I would have liked that Honda to been right about by his jugular vein there. Okay, and he turns back this time. So if I were to rip my slack right now, get all excited that it's around his neck, I'm going to pull it straight off his head. So we let it sit there just a second. Okay. There's a chance he might have stepped through the loop here. Fortunately, he did not. As soon as he gets to there, I know I can pull that slack now, and it's not going to pull it off. Draws tight. Go to the saddle horn and get short. This is my buddy Rion. He's the farmingest farmer that ever did farm. He's also one of my viewers, so that'll make him smile. All right, coming in to heel a great big old soggy calf behind the Maceo. Did not work. That was ugly. Oh, I put this shot in here as an example of what not to do. So I want you to watch Luke's body language here. Luke's getting older. If we'd have had any more calves to do, I would have got on Henry. He was on the other side of the trailer. But watch Luke. Goes bombing in right here, kind of box. And being in his early to mid 20s like he is now, he doesn't quite have the strength to jump right back up and track that calf again. I think what Luke saw, I think Luke was expecting to have to track this calf. Because if you watch, when these two separate, that's when he balks. And I think he was just locked onto the wrong calf here, which when they're like this, I can't fault the horse for that. So right there, you can see his ears. He's balking. The video doesn't show it, but he put the brakes on pretty good right there. I think he was tracking the wrong calf. And if you notice through the rest of it here, I never get caught back up to where I like to be. The calf is starting to run on the end of the heel rope. He's not dragging. So this shot is just kind of a garbage time Hail Mary. I'm getting beat 33-0, but let's try and get some glory points here. Reaching that far and around the corner like that, every now and then it'll work. It's got a very low percentage of working. It's got a low moderate percentage of catching one leg, but you got to open your hand to catch. You'll miss all the shots you don't take. That was not a good shot. Christian coming in to heel one. Whack. Beautiful. Okay, he comes in here. Traveling good. Tracking in position. Still tracking it, waiting for that other calf to get away for some room. Starts stopping his horse as he throws. Again, he's ready to pull his slack so much earlier than a lot of guys. And that's an awesome, awesome thing. Pulls his slack. If you notice, he don't stop his horse totally here. He just holds it tight, goes with him, gets around that corner so he doesn't rim fire the man on the gray horse right there. Nicely done. All right. Looks like maybe it's a different bunch of calves now. We split them into a couple small bunches so we didn't run everybody's around as much. Let's see. Shaking out some coils here. Boom. Oh, what's going to happen? Oh, no. All right. Made it work. We'll back that up and kind of explain to you what was going through my mind as this was playing out. All right. I think this was 4 coils. I tried to zoom in a little bit on this shot. It was one of those that I could. Yeah, it's 4 coils there. Send it out there. Comes around. Hits him. Now, a lot of times they will spook and spin away and they'll draw your loop shut as they do. Sometimes they just stand there and they look at it just like this. So obviously, if I pull my slack right now, I'm going to pull it off of his head. Was losing the battle right here. Luck was not in my favor. That bottom strand of my rope's over the bridge of his nose. But he kind of puts his head down right here and picks it up again. If I can get that calf to move to my right down this fence, he's going to pull my loop shut for me. All the other calves in here are going to complicate that. Might have run through the loop, pulled it off, or who knows what's going to happen here, but we're going to ride in, gather my coils up as I go, and try and get that calf to move down that fence. Okay, you can see it went underneath this red calf here. At that point, it's like, well, let's pull on it and see what happens. And it worked out good this time. Got him caught. All right, Macio's got one here, running in to heel it. Boom, 2 feet, stack them on, let it slide. Perfect. That's the kind of heeling I like to do. Luke put me in a good spot here. Stopped him. Set my heel trap. He walks into it. Pulled my slack. You can see my right foot in the shot there because when I pull my slack, it's not just, oh my gosh, computer, you were fine. When I pull my slack, it's not just with my arm. I will lean back a little bit in my saddle to get a couple extra inches of slack pulled. Okay? Hands up in the air. Now, as this rope comes tight, it's going to pull on my hand right there. That's my signal to go to the saddle horn. If you go to the saddle horn before that, you're probably going to slip a leg or lose both. Now, we're in the bottom half of the trap. The workspace is up here yet. I got 5 or 6 coils left. I take one wrap and I just let it slide. Let him get up there to where his horse is starting to run out of pull. Stack another couple dallies on and back Luke up. Make it come tight. Let's get us another one. Shoot and a miss. What happened? This one's real simple. It's going to be a sidearm shot on this black calf right here. I got hyper fixated on the black calf. Did not pay attention to where the other calves were. Just smacked the red calf right in the flank. You got to have spatial awareness towards everything. Where you are in the trap, where the calves are in the trap, where the other horses are in the trap. Just got out of that spatial awareness mode right there. Got hyper fixated and missed a loop. Okay, so Christian, terribly sorry about this. He had just missed a head loop here. He sees that I'm swinging Houlihan. He knows how I like to rope. Christian and I've roped a lot together. Christian taught me quite a few things, especially about heeling. So he's going to ride up and turn these calves and push them in between us, which should set me up for a shot. Just like that. One of the most important things you can do when you miss and you're rebuilding your loop is get out of the herd. If you're not going to get out of the herd, look at somebody that's got a loop ready to go and figure out how you can set them up for a shot. That teamwork is crucially important. There's nothing more fun than roping calves in a trap where the other riders are all working as a team. So I see that calf starting to break right there. Rope placement's pretty good. Was just a hair behind. Could have had that back strand could have been about there, and that front strand could have went around there. Good thing about this though, he's not going to step through it, so draw it shut. Worked pretty good. As you go up to get short on these calves, you don't want the slack, the belly of your rope. You do not want it dragging the ground. If you can't coil up that fast, check your horse up just a little bit. And another thing to think about is this rope, when it's down around their side like this, if he goes around that corner to the left, it's going to drape around behind his back quarter here. Well, what'll happen is when you dally and he spins around, you're going to have 6 more feet of rope out there than you thought. So what I do is right there. I just take it, give it one little flip it up over his back. That allows me to get closer and get shorter and dally with less rope. So Hayden, he's a young kid. He's doing really good. Made a really nice heel shot right there. Let's back that up. He looks to me for advice every now and then. And I told him, I says, you know how to throw a heel loop and all that stuff. I says, but you're not seeing your shots until they're there and it's too late. So I told him I wanted him to start thinking 3 jumps ahead on everything he's doing. So as we're running down the pen right here, I'm telling him, not yet, not yet. Wait till the corner. Wait for it right there. He comes in right off that corner, takes a nice shot, and just annihilates those back feet. Okay? All of my ground crew, or the ground crew, not my ground crew, is up here busy working on this calf. Luke's pretty good about helping a guy out. That ground crew was hustling that day. They were definitely working hard, so I'm going to step off, help them set ropes. That way this calf doesn't have to choke any longer than absolutely necessary. Christian sees what I'm doing, rides up, gives me a rope to put on the front feet, make life a lot easier. Get my rope off the calf's head. Help Hayden get short on his rope. Big old gentle looking buckskin horse. Kind of a dirty buckskin. Give Hayden a thumbs up. I forget what I was saying, but it was something about how he saw that shot before it presented itself. Come back over and get the Mustang gathered up and go rope us another one. Okay, these calves are kind of stirred up. Everything's flighty and kind of being a wad in the corner right here. We'll see what happens. Simple shot, overhand off the fence like that. Again, not my favorite shot right there. But I could see it was coming. Ready for it. You notice Luke is already going to the left, starting to lead that calf to where we're flowing with him. One more swing. If you hit him right there with it, there's no room between his head and that panel. Deliver it. In this shot, you have to be extremely fast about catching your slack. Basically, you throw it and you rip the slack as fast as you can. You can see he would have jumped through that loop if I had not. Dally off and get short. Anyways, guys, that's the end of it there. I hope it helped. I hope it gave you guys something to think about next time you're roping. Always work as a team. I cannot stress how much working as a team will help everybody rope better that day. So here's a verse for you to look up. This will be the last Friday video before Christmas. I hope you guys have a very, very Merry Christmas. Remember that we're celebrating the birth of Jesus. We're not celebrating Santa or any of those presents or anything like that. I love giving and getting presents as much as anybody else, but I hope you guys spend a couple minutes with Jesus in your heart this Christmas. I hope you spend it with family. God bless, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.